What's up, Block fam? Welcome to today's episode. In front of me here, we have a 2006 Honda RC51, which is the bike that I refer to as my cheap V-twin super sport. Maybe we'll come up with a name for this bike. I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comments below if you can think of any clever names for this thing. A lot of people call it a pig because, you know, it's a V-twin, but it's considered a super sport because it's a 1000cc and also just the way it's tuned and everything, of course. I was born on the track, for those of you that don't know. There's a lot of history behind the Honda RC51. Nicky Hayden, so we got him right here, number 69, and then it was also called the 1 liter Ducati Eater. But if you guys want any more information on that, this bike has a very rich history. But in this video, I was pretty much thinking of, like, I know a lot of you guys wanted me to do like kind of a test ride video on it, so I thought maybe I would do a test ride video on it, like test riding the Honda RC51. Pretty beautiful spot to start the video here in front of this fighter jet. I guess let's go ahead and roll the intro and then we'll get started on the test ride video. Alright guys, so traditionally I do test rides on like newer bikes, but I've had a lot of requests for this one. For those of you out there that might be looking for a Honda RC51, this will kind of give you a good glimpse into what the bike is like. So this is a, like I said, a 2006 Honda RC51. It's an SP2. This bike went by a couple names. Here in the US they called it the RC51. I think overseas they called it the RVT. They also called it, I want to say, like the VTR. So like a couple different combinations of the lettering here. This one does have, you know, a little bit of stuff done to it in terms of like brakes, brake lines, obviously exhaust. It's got a power commander on it, so it's not going to be stock. The thing about this is, if you guys are looking to buy one of these bikes, you probably know that they're incredibly hard to find. So whenever I bought this one, it was for a couple seasons ago, whenever I ended up purchasing one to give away, because I thought it was a cool transition from, normally we do like V-twin, like cruiser content with, you know, Harleys for the most part, and I wanted to kind of squeeze a sport bike in there, like a super sport, and so I thought it was like a good segue since it is still a V-twin. So this was Honda's answer to Ducati on the track of the performance that they could get out of a V-twin. One of the main reasons I bought the motorcycle is because of how it sounds. It's just, it sounds so amazing, which I'll crank it up here in a second and we'll give it a good rev so you guys can hear it, and then we're gonna go ride. Like I was saying, if you guys are looking for one of these bikes, there's a lot of people that have stories about them. There's a lot of people that have, you know, owned them when they were younger. They're looking to buy them again now, but the thing is, they're getting incredibly hard to find in any decent kind of condition. So like I was saying, that first one that I bought for the giveaway was like nearly perfect condition, and we gave that away for, I want to say, season 6, and it went to a guy named Juan Soto over in Texas. Juan, if you're watching this video, we tried to hit you up to get a picture of you with the bike and we never heard back from you, so if you could get back to us, bro, it would be greatly appreciated. Like, we gave you a motorcycle, man. Come on, the least you can do is snap a photo of you with the bike for us so we can put it on a website. On that note, guys, we do give away motorcycles. As of me recording this, we're giving away a Sucker Punch Sally old school chopper, custom paint job, custom Springer front end, new wheels, tires, brakes. It's a beautiful motorcycle. So if you guys are interested in getting in on that, head over to blockheadmoto.com, sign up, select a tier, and you guys are in. We also do various other giveaways. You get various other perks, early access to episodes, access to Discord, discounts at the online shop, stuff like that. So yeah, if you guys have any questions on that, let me know. Anyways, like I was saying about the giveaway, the one that I gave away was in perfect condition. This one, however, is not in like super great condition. It has been dropped. It's missing a couple things. Fairings are cracked. There's some zip ties holding it, some of the fairings and whatnot together. But this is going to be a cool project bike for us because we're basically going to strip the fairings, reshape the tank, reshape this tail end, make some new exhaust. It's going to be a nice like custom kind of bike. We're thinking about trying to retrofit the front end with like a newer CBR style front end. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think, what direction we should possibly take this in. Since it's pretty bashed up, we're pretty much going to strip it down and rebuild her. All right, guys, so since it is a super sport, it does have super sport ergonomics. As you guys can see, the rider triangle, got bars, seat, foot controls. So it's pretty much a very traditional for sport bikes. So you're basically where you're sitting, your butt, your hips are pretty much in line with your wrists, your hands on the bars, and then your legs are pretty scrunched up. My legs fit nicely right into this little gap, which is nice. I do feel I'm a little tall for the bike, and I'm 5'10", with my boots a little taller, but I wonder how tall Nicky Hayden was, because he was the one that made this bike like super famous by winning a couple championships with it. But yeah, I do feel a little squished up whenever I'm on the bike. Let's just go ahead and throw a leg over it so you guys can kind of see where my legs set. Boop. So at 5'10", sitting nicely against the tank, I am able to pretty much flat foot it, like almost perfectly flat foot. Not quite. For the most part, I would be doing the flamingo, where at lights and stuff I'm leaving one foot down and I'm pulling one foot up. Whenever I do have my legs up, as you guys can see, this is where it sets. That's with my foot under the shifter, and my knee sets perfectly in that little dent. Same on the right side. Sorry, I got a bunch of stuff in my pockets, but yeah, that's where it sets on the right. Looking at the controls here, let's just start on the left like we always do. Missing the return spring for the lever there, so it tends to go way out there, but whenever I'm riding, usually just hold it. So obviously, shifter, high beam, low beam, indicators. This is super sticky on this one. Horn, you've got reservoir on this side for hydraulic clutch, right? I'm pretty confident, hydraulic clutch. Adjustable front suspension. This one does have a Scott's steering damper on it. Key in the center, brake reservoir, right suspension, throttle. You've got on off, adjustable right lever, and push to start. If we turn this on, check out the gauge. Pretty no nonsense. Like I said, this is an 06, so older technology, right? You've got RPMs at the top, which are super vibrant, miles per hour just below that. You've got a little F1 light, which stands for Formula One, because Formula One racing, this bike is super fast. I'm just kidding, it doesn't stand for Formula One. I actually, what does that stand for? Fuel injected or fuel injecting, maybe? Because like whenever you turn it on, it's priming. You hear basically the fuel priming, that light turns on. You got gas indicator below that, current temperature of the coolant, got a little button here which lets you cycle through some of those things. Odometer, 38,097 miles, trip 1, and back to temp. At the bottom you got your indicators, you got your oil, you got your coolant temp, you got your indicators, and your high beam and your neutral light. Indicators both flash like that. We take a look at the indicators. Originally it had mirrors coming out of there and there, but the person that owned it before me did away with those. Got indicators here that are not there, but we do have indicators in the back. Bloop, bloop, bloop. So that's right. And then brake lights are basically integrated into this thing, which this whole tail section is bulbous, very large. Turn that off. Go ahead and jump on this thing, get out of here. I told you guys I was gonna do a little sound test so you guys can hear what it sounds like. Let's go ahead and do that. Let you guys hear it a little bit. Oh, it does have a choke on it. There's a choke right here, right there. So I've been running it, so I don't need it, but it's kind of interesting because it's fuel injected, but it has a choke. Flip the switch here, F1 lights on, and it turns off whenever the pump stops. So I think that means like fuel injected. I got race gas in it right now and it smells delicious. That is such a nice bike, like, and the way it rides. So like I said, considering that this is an older motorcycle, you don't have ABS, you don't have any rider assistance. It's analog, it's old school. And it sounds amazing. That's the #1 reason I bought this motorcycle. Let's just go ahead and get out of here. Oh yeah, and it doubles as a off-road motorcycle. Riding through grass and gravel as soon as I get on it. Not what it's intended for at all. Yeah, that's pretty much why I bought the bike. So yeah, for those of you that don't know the backstory behind like me buying this bike, if you didn't watch that episode where we basically revealed it, what happened is I bought the bike for the giveaway, and they were both on Facebook Marketplace, right? And so I ended up pitting the sellers against one another because, you know, it was kind of like a price war, like who would sell it to me for the least. Ended up buying one, and then I got this guy down to such a good price that I bought this one too. It's kind of interesting now, the price of these things, since they have gotten more and more rare. The price that I bought this thing for, man, it is about tripled. I'm seeing these things going for like quite a bit of money nowadays. And I'm sure like a lot of that has to do with the current market and all this stuff, but you guys aren't watching this channel for an economics lesson and all that, right? So I'm not going to get too far into that, but I think it's kind of interesting how investors, they say invest in what you know. And I mean, I know motorcycles. I mean, I like to think I know motorcycles. And so for the past couple of years, I've really been, you know, investing into motorcycles, and it's been doing all right. So all right, sorry. All right, I'm on a sport bike and I'm getting waves from all these cruiser riders. Good job, guys. Appreciate you. I do kind of hate the fact that this thing doesn't have any mirrors on it. So yeah, yeah, the seller that sold me this one, obviously, like, it's in pretty rough shape, and he ended up bringing the price down, made me a decent deal on it, so I couldn't say no. And you know, with my want of wanting to rebuild it, basically not really liking how the tail end was and the front headlights and stuff, I was like, you know, oh, hey buds, where y'all going? Where you going? I'm just riding here. You know, not being totally in love with the aesthetic of it, especially as for the fact that it's as old as it is, the aesthetic of it is actually pretty nice. But there's definitely some things I want to do to it that will modernize it a bit. So yeah, the plan is obviously rebuild it, because the power plant, the V-twin of this thing, sounds incredible. So like I said, absolutely in love with the sound of it, and it feels amazing. Like the power delivery on this motorcycle is just incredible. Guys, I have no idea where I'm going. I'm super lost right now. I feel like I'm kind of Methville, USA, Methville, Florida. Feeling kind of methy back here. There we go. I think this is where I wanted to be. Okay, down by the beach. This is actually a lake. Down by the beach lake. So yeah, anyways, I couldn't pass up the opportunity, bought it because I, you know, not afraid of a project. I don't know when we'll get to work on this thing, to be totally honest. It's been dead for a bit, and so I replaced the battery. It's got a couple fluid leaks. Nothing too crazy, but definitely need to address those. And then after we address the fluid leak, after that, we can pretty much probably like start tearing it down. But you know, before like getting too far into it, I wanted to ride it a bit, just to kind of enjoy the bike. You know, we got a couple bikes, couple projects going on. We got a lot of projects going on. But I don't know, for some reason I just wanted to kind of like get on this one, and I feel like I just haven't really given it much love. Here we are, giving it some love, getting the fluids to it and all that good stuff. Anyways, if you guys are looking at one of these bikes and you're, like I said, if we're doing like that test ride style video, I usually talk about ergonomics. You're in a freaking sport bike position on this thing, pretty scrunched up. Definitely not looking at this thing to do like distances and stuff. You know, I'm just looking to go like around the lake here and not much further than that. For one, this throttle, man, this throttle is pretty tough to pull back. It's incredibly touchy. I mean, you barely, look at that, like I'm barely touching it, and it's like, okay, all the way back, that's all the way back. It's like a, what, a quarter turn? Not much. It's got some good resistance to it, and so like my right hand is definitely starting to feel it. No cruise control. Like I said, the bike was born on the racetrack, and then they made like a street version for those people that wanted the street version. Nicky Hayden would race, he'd win. What do they say? Race on Sundays, sell on Mondays. That was one of the great things about this motorcycle, is just the analogness of it. Oh, almost got that bird. I don't know if you guys saw that. Never understood that. Why do birds fly at this level when you got all that? Get out of the freaking street level, man. Yeah, it's just something about, you know, like older bikes, older cars, like they don't have all the bells and the whistles and the rider assistance. It's like, dude, the rider assistance is right here. Like that's it. That's what you got. You know, it's like there is no auto blipper, quick shifter. There is no ABS. Like you are fully in control of every little thing. There's no nanny built into the system. There's nobody to take care of you. You are responsible for you. I mean, it's awesome. There are definitely perks to rider assistance. I'm not dogging on it. But I'm saying there are some like really awesome things about stripped down analog, not having any of that. The perks of rider assistance is it actually lets you kind of ride closer to the full potential of the motorcycle. Whereas on this thing, like I'm not ever going to get anywhere close to riding to the full potential of this thing. You talk to some of the people that have experience on this motorcycle, and one of the things they will tell you is like they were never able to ride to its limits. One of the guys that was in the shop recently checked this bike out and he was like, yo, is that an SP1 or SP2? And I was like, it's an SP2. He was saying that he had one and he was on a straight coming back from Leesburg back in the day, and he wanted to basically see what it would do. He said it was, you know, later at night, no traffic, nothing, nobody else on the road, middle of nowhere. I mean, he was coming back in Mexico. That's where he was. He was in Mexico. He wanted to see basically what it would do. He wanted to stretch its legs a bit. When he was shifting into 6th gear, he said he was at 179 miles per hour, and that's whenever he said, okay, that's enough, because he had a whole other gear to go. Like he had just gotten into 6th gear, which is I mean, that's ridiculous. The crazy thing about this motorcycle is the weight of it, mixed with maybe the ergonomics, the geometry of it, it makes the bike feel incredibly planted. So like you can be going, man, like I took this thing on the highway, and it gets you going like real fast. I mean, there's plenty of torque, plenty of power delivered to this thing, and it's very linear. I mean, you're gonna be going, you know, you'll be going 100 miles an hour on this thing in Mexico and feel like you're going like 50. It's just, it just feels like just so stable, so planted. You know, the fairings, obviously being a fully faired bike, it makes it cut through the wind like butter. You're not feeling like you're skipping over the road like a rock on water or anything like that. You just feel really planted to the road, which is definitely what you want, especially if you're going at some crazy speeds. I could literally have a throttle therapy video with this motorcycle. For those of you that don't know what a throttle therapy video is, it's like basically just me not talking and riding the bike. And like, I guarantee you that video would do great just for the sound. Woo! 2006, guys, don't forget, 2006. So I want you guys to do me a favor after this video, if you could, for me, please go onto Facebook Marketplace and see if you can find any Honda RC51s local to your area. And if you can, post up how much they're selling for in the comments down below. So what's kind of interesting is the fact that, like, I'm not really trying to keep an eye on the market for these things, but we've got so much other stuff going on, it's like I'm really not interested. I'm not trying to sell the bike either, you know? What's interesting though is that, like, I think I get targeted by like Instagram ads and stuff and Facebook, like in terms of like looking at this motorcycle, because they'll bring up listings that are basically like showing me the value of some of the listings. So I'd be curious as to what you guys are finding them for, like in your area. So yeah, if you could do me a favor, like I said, after the video, Facebook Marketplace, that's where I found this one. If you guys find any, just kind of tell me what the prices are in your area. I'd just be super curious. If you can find them, I would recommend it. I mean, it's just an incredible motorcycle. And like I said, the number one thing that sold me on it is that sound. It's just, it's so uncharacteristic of a sport bike, you know? It's like you just don't hear. I guess you do kind of hear some that sound like, I mean, like an MT-10. It's that Crossplane 4. Whoo, that bike sounds amazing. Yeah, I think like the bikes that you would kind of hear that are similar nowadays, they've got a little bit of that whine from the dual overhead cams, is like Ducatis. So like, I think Ducati has the V2 now. Ducati also has a V4, which sounds just incredible also. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because like you do have a little bit of that whine. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. It's like more of the top end whine. Once I heard the sound and I got the guy down to a price that I could not refuse. It's funny, I would say like he made me an offer I couldn't refuse, but that's not the way it worked, because I haggled him down to an offer I couldn't refuse. It works out. The art of the haggle. I don't know if any of you guys out there enjoy haggling. I love it, honestly. Like, I'm a real big fan of the haggle. The many things that my dad taught me growing up is, you know, just that there is an art to it. Anyways, I'm getting off subject. Honda RC51. Two things I like to answer at the end. One, do I have any criticism of it? Yes, I have a lot of criticism of this motorcycle, but they didn't basically outweigh my choice to buy it. And that's the second question, is would I buy it? Yes, I bought it. My criticisms, the ergonomics on this bike, oh my god. Like I said, definitely not meant as a distance motorcycle. Seat, firm, ergonomics, scrunched, aesthetics, not the best. Front end aesthetics, I feel like I can do better, so we'll try. I'm gonna rebuild her. Yeah, I mean, just, you know, some things, but nothing terrible. Those are my thoughts. I hope you guys have been given some good insight into this incredible motorcycle. If you're interested in one, like I said, do me a favor, comment down below, drop your thoughts. If you guys have any experience with this bike, if you've ridden one before, also comment down below, let me know y'all's experience with it. I feel like so many people out there have like a great experience story with this motorcycle. So yeah, you guys do me a favor and drop those comments if you do. Perfect timing, I guess, because my gas light just came on, so hey, that's what the gas light looks like. Indicator on the dash. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video though. If you did, if it was insightful, y'all do me a favor, be sure to hit that like button. Leaving a comment also helps us out quite a bit. If you guys aren't subscribed and you want to continue to see motorcycle content, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon also so it sends you notifications of future uploads and activity. Did the gas light go off? It did. Weird. Okay, I guess it replenished itself. If only, right? It'd be nice if gas replenished itself. Till next time, ride safe, stay vigilant. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.